relationships are complicated. Throw in dealing with the family dynamics and the roller coaster ups and downs of marriage. What do we do? Well, what we do is call a marriage and family specialist. And tonight I have Chris Matthews on the set to talk to us about how we navigate this crazy world of relationships. Welcome to the set.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I just want to say that you are an inspiration to me. I watched some of your reels and your video, and you just have this mission that speaks volumes from your video, that you really want to help people. And I love that you said you're a healer, and that really is what relationships need, is a little healing, because sometimes we don't know where they're going. We need a little navigation and help. So tell us a little bit about how you got started doing this, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So I got started out pretty young. My wife and I just celebrated 13 years of marriage on August 11th.
Congrats.
And thank you. So we were in college and we unexpectedly got pregnant. No call mom wants to hear, right? I'm pregnant. And I had a lot of friends who were having babies, and they would tell me, well, Chris, I'm going to be there for my son, or I'm going to be there for my daughter. And I wanted to change that narrative. I wanted to make sure that I was there for my wife. I wanted to be there for my family. And that's how I got into the field. I was at UNC Charlotte at the time. I went to my local counseling center, and I looked around, and there were no men, and then there were no men of color. So I then went to my church, got a great prayer, but I was then pushed back out there, and I had to figure it out the hard way. So after several years of doing my own research, I chose to go back to school, get a master's in marriage and family therapy, and help heal relationships and be there for couples and be the person that I didn't have when I was going through my situation with my wife at the time.
I love that, because you lived it.
Yes.
Marriage is very difficult at best. You throw in a baby, and I love that you didn't run. You thought, I don't want to be there just to raise the child, because a lot of men don't even want to do that.
Right.
You not only wanted to be there to help with the child, but you wanted to be a partner to your wife. You wanted to have that relationship. So that is so touching, and I can see how that would transpire into, being a therapist, a specialist in building that trust and building those relationships.
Right.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I find that it's a day in and day out effort, but it's fun. And I know before the show we were just talking about the movie Groundhog Day that I find some inspiration from. It's an old movie with Bill Murray, I believe, and every day he wakes up and he has to fall in love with the same person. And that's how I approach my marriage, and I approach my relationships with my children the same way. I want to fall in love with the people who I care about every day.
Right. Oh, I love that. It gives me goosebumps. So I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
And I hope you can help me answer these.
Yeah.
What is the number one issue most of your clients have in their relationship?
Yeah. So being that I treat predominantly couples, the number one issue that couples have align with safety. So safety is broad, and it usually stems around infidelity and cheating, money and finances, or just that overall level of commitment. So starting on that foundational ground level to help couples understand what their boundaries are, what their needs and expectations are before approaching a relationship, so they can be safe and protect themselves as they open their hearts up to someone else.
That's so important, because it's hard to be vulnerable, like when you're even in a marriage, because sometimes you feel that other person judges you, or I would think, so those are great moments that would all do and work together. And so you counsel them to have communication, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Open communication
is definitely going to be the number one thing that a couples therapist is going to help you with, because we tend to lean on our family of origin or the patterns that we acknowledge from our parents. So if we come from families that don't have healthy examples, then we're going to apply those same unhealthy examples into our current relationships.
Exactly. I love that. Next question. This is for somebody married, entering into marriage or relationship. What are the red flags you should look for in the beginning of a relationship before they get married? I'm sure you do premarital counseling.
So the number one red flag is a fancy word. It's called differentiation of self, meaning if your partner doesn't have a relationship with themselves, they don't have self-love, they're trying to enmesh themselves into who you are, and they try to take away your identity. So if you're dating someone and they don't allow you to be you, and they're trying to take away your own personal identity, they're trying to tell you what you should or should not do, hobbies or different behaviors that you automatically enjoy doing prior to meeting them, that's a red flag. Turn the other way. You want someone that's going to be secure in who you are when they meet you, not someone they want to make you out to be.
You want someone that wants you to make your light shine.
Correct.
Sparkle
Correct.
bright, right?
Definitely.
So that's great, because a lot of people want a relationship, and so they morph into what they think the other person wants, and they do lose their identity, or that person is controlling.
Exactly.
So that's a red flag. Run.
Yeah. Get away.
Get away fast. Okay. And is it true? The beginning stages of our lives, our childhood, defines who we are. You kind of talked about this as adults, and the patterns that we follow is from our childhood, what our parents did in relationships. How do we change this if the childhood was less than normal?
The first way we change it is with awareness. In the work that I do with couples, I'll always meet with them individually first. And the goal is to do a strong assessment on where they came from, because if we can identify and be aware of certain behaviors and patterns, then we can begin to change them.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know how to connect the dots. That's why they seek out counselors to help put it all together for them. It's almost like having a pile of all these pieces, but the counselor's there to help you put the puzzle together.
Right. You are just so easy to talk to. I love this. Everything's flowing, and your answers are just like so mind-boggling. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to watch a little video of who Chris Matthews is, and then we'll be right back.
Who is Chris A. Matthews? Chris Matthews is a man of faith. Chris Matthews is a husband, a father. Chris Matthews is a licensed marriage and family therapist, but more importantly, he's a healer of people, a healer of relationships, a healer of families, by way of delivering marriage and family therapy. That's who Chris Matthews is.
And now we're back with the amazing Chris Matthews. Next question for you, darling. What are the 5 things we should do for a happy, healthy relationship?
So the 5 things that you have to do for a healthy, happy relationship. First, create a safe space. So that looks like not cheating and not lying to your partner. Second, be an active listener. Active listening looks like being able to recite back what you hear your partner say and not thinking about what you want to say next. Third, we want to make sure that we're taking the time to understand our partner. Just because our partner might share a different opinion than us, it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. We don't want to be competitors. This isn't a competition. We're designed to complement each other, not compete with each other.
Compliment each other. I like that.
Fourth, we want to make sure that we create a space where love can actually grow. If you think about an environment that's going to harvest and harness love, that's going to be an environment where partners feel heard. They feel safe and secure. And then the 5th one is going to be make sure that you have conversations that are hard. Conversations around money, conversations about intimacy are tough for couples to have. You want to have those conversations early and often, and know what you expect. Know what you want before going to your partner. They can't read your mind. Don't expect them to.
I love that. And that's like amazing advice. I've not really heard that before. So very, very unique and original. What are the 5 things we should not do if we want to have a happy, healthy relationship?
So the first thing you should not do is depend on your partner to make you happy. This is not math class. 2 negatives do not make a positive. Second, keep your family out of your business.
Okay.
It is an intimate relationship for a reason. Third, make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you can hurt someone else. And that looks like not knowing what you want.
Right.
And fourth, make sure that you've accomplished your goals and you've established yourself, because a lot of times couples will come into marriage and they'll talk about selfishness. There's certain areas in life where you need to be selfish. If there's a degree or a high-level career opportunity, pursue that before getting to a relationship.
Right.
And fifth, make sure that you don't enter the relationship with the expectations of the person changing. Where you found them is where they're going to be. They're not going to change just because you now are in a committed relationship.
Love them for who they are.
Yes.
Or get
Love them
out
for who
if
they
you
are
don't.
and get out, exactly.
Last question is how do you overcome the fear of failing in a relationship?
Be organic and transparent. Vulnerability is really our way of letting someone know who we really are. So if you're not allowing yourself to fail, then you're going to set yourself up for a representation of someone else and not your real partner. In other words, be okay knowing that you're probably only going to get 70% of what you really want out of another person, right? And that 30% has to be certain things you can just agree that they're just going to be the way they are.
Right, right. You have to accept them.
You got to
The
accept
70 has to be way more
70
important
has
than
to
the
be way
30.
more than the 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So give me your lasting words for our audience out there that maybe is dealing with relationship issues, maybe on the borderline of a divorce, maybe really wants to save their marriage. What are some lasting words?
Self-love. And self-love looks like taking the opportunity to understand who you are. And then I'm going to throw an extra one in there. Be willing to open up in order to heal up. You have to be willing to open up and be vulnerable with your partner if you really want to save or heal a relationship.
I love that. You were amazing, Chris Matthews. Thank you for stopping by the set. We hope you'll visit us again and again and again. You just inspired me. You just have this energy about you. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been a joy to be here.
It's our pleasure. Relationships are difficult. They truly are. But with the help of our amazing Chris Matthews, we hope he's answered some of your questions and maybe even saved your marriage or at least healed it.